Start recording. Right. So Agatha, we just want to have a little chat about your part B and the event that you chose to go and see, what it was all about. So tell us, what did you go to do for your part B?
So I went to the National Portrait Gallery to see an exposition about Cindy Sherman, who's an American photographer, who most of her works is just photos of her in different poses.
Fantastic. What did you know about Cindy Sherman before you went to see the exhibition? Did you know much about her?
No, I didn't know she existed.
Yeah. And had you been to the National Portrait Gallery before?
Yeah, but I don't remember why. I just remember the building.
It's quite an incredible building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And tell us what you saw. So obviously you mentioned that there's these photographs of her. What describe the imagery a little bit more, and what do you think the meaning behind the images are?
So a lot of her works are criticism. So like the one that you're on right now, it's two middle-aged women. They're like not old women, but they're not young. If you look closely, you see their faces are all smooth. They've like had plastic surgery and everything, but then their hands are all wrinkled and old, so it just doesn't fit. And she criticizes the modern ideals of beauty a lot, and she explores that, and also death,
right,
in some sense.
Have you got a picture here of one that's related to death?
No. There's a clown section. I included a picture of the clowns.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. So what's that
that's
about?
like one of the not scary ones. Horrible ones. It's not horrible. It's just like not nice. So it's not like those people with big red noses.
So is that her?
Yes. All of them is her.
Wow. So every single person in each image is her.
Yeah. That's what I found amazing, because she has to pose, and also she worked. I don't know about now, but before she used to work alone. So she had to do all her makeup, make all her costumes, all the props. And then she also had to pose and take the picture.
Wow.
Yeah,
you'd think that she'd have like a whole team of people, to kind of do that for her in a way. But that's quite incredible that she's done it all. What do you think that's saying if someone is in the photos that they're taking the pictures of? Like, as an artist, what do you think it's saying? I mean, it's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah. Most of the time, people take pictures of other people. I think it's because she really wants to get instead of using someone else and taking all the credit. She does everything herself.
You broke up a little bit there. Sorry. You think it's because
she really wants to bring her message out. Yeah. And instead of just taking a picture of someone else and taking all the credit, she's doing everything herself.
Yeah, it's very self-absorbed in a strange kind of way, isn't it? It's quite to do with the self. It's pointing the camera, instead of pointing the camera on others, it's pointing the camera on herself, and it's very exposing, I suppose, for her. Maybe it's something to do with her wanting to embody some of the characters that she's seen around and about, and she's kind of, I don't know, wanting to experiment with that a little bit. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't do it. Would you? Is this something that you'd think about doing?
No, I don't really like seeing myself on pictures or movies. I prefer taking pictures of others.
Well, exactly.
But also, I think it's easier to criticize others when you're like pretending to be them, because like in a sense you're criticizing yourself, so you can't really be like, the people don't take that much offense in a sense.
It's also merging that kind of, because obviously there's documentary photography, which is documentary photography like street photography, you know, you might go out and take pictures of people. There's portrait photography, which a lot of these are portraits, aren't they? They're not just, it's like they're posing, but because she's involved, it's staged, isn't it? So it's kind of a mixture between all of those genres put together. It's quite strange. I like it though. I do like it. Let's just go back. Okay, so on the whole, what did you like best in the exhibition? If you could pick one thing, I know we've discussed a couple of things, images. What did you like best?
I really like the pictures with when there's two of her, because I know before, I don't know about now, maybe she uses like Photoshop and the new technology, but before she used to use like the old cameras, and she'd have to take a picture and then take another picture and put them together.
Right.
And like if she gets the pose wrong, there's one where I don't think I included it, but there's like 4 of her in the same picture, and I think it's quite amazing how she managed to like put them all together. It must have taken like loads of tries and failures.
That is, and it's an interesting discussion about technology, you know, photography and technology, and how technology has advanced, and how you know, artists now can really manipulate and falsify and enhance the photographic process really quite drastically, but also they're quite, from the looks of it, they're quite realistic, aren't they? They're not, you know, they're realistic as much as they're staged. She kind of combines very bright colors as well, like the lighting she uses, and things look quite staged but at the same time real. Actually, that background looks really weird, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's like all wavy and not really very real.
Yeah, there's another picture I included further down. It's so blurry in the background.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's to give like a sense of where she is, but so that people focus on the person she's like trying to be.
Definitely really interesting. I like that. I like her outfit. And what is there anything that could have been done better, do you think? Oh, I'm just going to shut my window because I've got a drill going on.
Yeah, so when I went there, I thought she was like dead.
Oh, right.
It was like before. And it wasn't really clear to me what time period she lived and worked in. So when I got back home and I researched a bit about her, and I found out she's still working and taking pictures, and she's only in her 60s. I was really like confused because I was just confused. So I think it would have been better if they had given us a more physical representation of her life and her work based on like the timeline of the last century.
So was it, how was the exhibition ordered? How was it, I mean, we're talking to the others about curating and curation. Do you know much about curation? Like, do you know what it means, firstly? Do you know what it means to create an exhibition?
I think I think a curator is like the person who decides how everything is placed and how it's shown to the audience.
Yeah, so there's always, there might be one overarching curator in an exhibition, or there'll be a team of curators that figure out how they want the audience to participate and move through the gallery, and what they see first and what they see at the end. And actually what you're saying is, you know, maybe there could have been a little bit more context to the work and to the artists, because sometimes they don't give very much information, do they? And they just give just the work itself. I can see this one, there's no information next to it. Was there lots of information throughout, or was it just the works?
Well, it was in sections. There was different rooms, like there was fantasy, there was the clown section I talked to you about. There's so at the beginning there was like a wall and they'd written a bit about it. But on each one, it was just like the title. Most of it was untitled, like literally untitled. but yeah, but I didn't really, it wasn't, there was so much to read on the door, like about the whole room, that it was kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, often that is the case. And then, or you get too much information, or you get, as you say, no information or no title or anything, and you've really got to work really hard to understand what is going on, you know, because sometimes just a title can give you enough information, right? You know,
Yeah.
can kind of give enough context. I like an exhibition where it leaves you guessing a bit, but I also need I need to be led a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if your exhibition you went to was free. Was it free? Did you go to, or did you have to buy a ticket?
I think it was, I don't know, I think it was free for children. I don't remember.
Right, yes, yeah. But often they're so expensive, and then you get in and you feel like not getting much value for money. You know, you kind of want as much information as possible, don't you, to kind of absorb. But no, interesting points. Would you recommend it to others? Would you recommend, let's say, would you recommend her work, and would you also recommend the exhibition, do you think?
Yeah, I'd really recommend her work, because it's got, overall, it's got some powerful messages, but like also individual ones. If you look closely enough and if you research a bit, there's like loads of hidden messages, and like it's really interesting to find that it's not just a picture of her standing like next to something. It's actually got a meaning. And I think that if she was alone and she was taking all these pictures by herself, staging, doing the makeup, doing the costumes, I think it's really inspirational, especially if she's a woman. And like it's an inspiration to see that there are women who are like, I don't know, doing these kind of things.
That's a really interesting point, Agatha.
Yeah, she perseveres.
Yeah, and something we've not actually touched on is, she's a woman, and all the pictures are of her, and there's an element of sort of power. There's a sort of a power thing that's going on. It's like, and the fact that she's done the work herself. She's, you know, directed it. She's starred in it. She's she is the star. And actually that's quite important, isn't it? Because in a world that's very dominated by men, it's important to see female faces, I suppose, and female artists, and be so prominent. Fantastic. Just reading a little bit what else you wrote there, but I think also what you were saying about you know, there being hidden meanings behind the work, and sometimes you can see something in a work and look at that and then come away and think, oh, I remember that actually I've got something else from that. And actually the beauty of works like this is that there's no real right or wrong answer to what's going on. It's your kind of subjective feelings around it. It's, you know, you can read, everyone can read something different into a work like this, can't they? Which is the beauty of it, I suppose.
Yeah, and also the fact that most of them are untitled.
Yeah.
It can be a bit annoying, but it can also be like, it leaves space for people to have their own interpretation.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Well, just very quickly, what art forms were involved? Because actually, I mean, obviously there's the obvious one, photography, but you've also, what else have you said?
Yeah, I said costume design and makeup art because she did everything herself. And that was one of the things I found really impressive about her work.
It's very theatrical, isn't it? It's very dynamic, and I love it. Great. So you did some research as well. Really nice. Well, I think all in all, seems like a really lovely exhibition, and I like your post. I think you've done loads of, you know, your writing's really, really strong. You made me want to go and see it. You should be an advert for the National Portrait Gallery. So well done. Cool. We'll stop recording. How do I do that?